And Bill King on the radio. You can listen to him 6 to 9, Nashville Sports Radio, King of College Football Talk. And, he started recruiting college football sports talk. And so this is a big holiday for Bill. Although, Bill, I know you couldn't celebrate commitments the way that you usually would like to with all of your listeners and friends downtown in Nashville, but so it doesn't make it quite as joyous a holiday as usual, does it?
Yeah, we have a big event at the Omni, and this year, at least Nashville gave us a little bit of warning. A couple of weeks back, they put out a new rule. You couldn't have a crowd bigger than 8 people, and that's just one load of people coming in on Uber. We never passed that test, so we had to postpone. We're thinking about something in the spring, but nonetheless, it's all good. Okay. All good, guys.
I've seen Eli Drinkwitz and Lane Kiffin try to also refer to today as Flipmas. So have there been an inordinate amount of flips today, if you've been paying attention to it? And what is it about those two programs necessarily that they think that they could get all these guys to flip?
Well, Lane Kiffin's an A-list recruiter. We don't know that about Eli Drinkwitz. I know he's done a pretty solid job briefly there at Missouri, but the recruiting angle of it on this level is unclear with him. We know what Kiffin can do. Kiffin's first class. Guys, Kiffin's only year at Tennessee, which was, 2009, he took the number one running back in America who happened to be in Kansas, who had never even mentioned Tennessee, and on literally short to no notice flipped him. Now, you can question how that happened, but he's an A-list recruiter. Doesn't matter where he's at. And Ole Miss is an attractive place. They flipped a few players. Flipped a tight end, Hudson Wolf, number one ranked tight end, maybe in America, out of Tennessee, from Tennessee about 2 weeks ago, too. So, but the Flipmas thing, I don't think today is out of the ordinary. You always have.
Yeah.
Signing day changes of mind. That's not new. It's just sexy when it gets broadcast
and put on social media, and they love to, that's what Lane Kiffin does. I want to ask about Kiffin later on about something, but more. We went into the break looking at recruiting rankings from the past few years on Rivals, and I don't know which recruiting service you subscribe to more. I've usually been looking at Rivals here. So I mean, Georgia still gets great recruits no matter what, but without Sam Pittman as their lead recruiter, they dropped from 3 years in a row with the top recruiting class in the country to 4th. Now, having the 4th rated class in the country is still something that, Razorback fans would salivate over that, but it also says something about Sam Pittman's ability to recruit to a place like that and to Arkansas.
Yeah. Sam's always been a good recruiter wherever, and I don't think that's going to change at all. But and some of these years are going to fluctuate a little bit. They got a 5-star quarterback in this class, which was key for them, an in-state kid who actually was originally committed to Oklahoma, but an in-state Georgia kid. And look, guys, Kirby Smart's a really good recruiter, but us three could sit in Athens and recruit that state and probably have a top 10 class without sweating it out too much. They're so geographically advantaged, and they're state U in one of the best states in America. I said this 5 years ago. It's not the big three. It's the big four. It's California, Texas, Florida, state of Georgia. They're right there. It's just ridiculous, the talent they have in that state, and it's abundant everywhere. Any corner of that state or in Atlanta you want to go find. But they're always going to have a really good class. There's no Ray Goff, and I don't know how many of you go back, but Ray's a friend of mine. He got the job when Vince Dooley retired simply because he was a good recruiter. He wasn't, guys, even a coordinator. And he didn't win there, but he signed number 1, 2, 3 classes every year. So that's been going on at Georgia, guys, since the beginning of time.
All right, South Carolina's already landed on their new coach. Vanderbilt did the same. A lot of intrigue surrounding Auburn. A lot of people think that they had Hugh Freeze in mind initially. There are others that say he's not even a legit candidate. It's going to be Kevin Steele. You got Lane Kiffin dropping the Nick Saban answer about, I'm not going to be the coach at Auburn, so don't ask me. And I'm not quite sure what to think. What do you think about, first of all, Gus being fired? Second, who they could be looking for and who's a legit candidate?
The money people don't like Gus, and the money was not an issue. These people tweeting about how it's a shame people are getting furloughed, which that is sad, absolutely. And now you're paying people off $21.4 million. That's not coming out of the athletic department's piggy bank somewhere in the building. That is the Yellow Pine man, Jimmy Rain, and maybe Tim Cook. Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, is an Auburn guy. I don't think he's a big sports guy, but my point is they got money. That's not an issue. That 21.4 is not a problem, and it's not coming at the expense of other employees inside the department. The money people like Kevin Steele. Now, again, the question would arise, why would you fire a guy who's beaten Alabama almost 40% of the time, which nobody can say that about Nick Saban, not even come close. Pay him off $20+ million, and then right down the hall, hire the guy as the successor. That does seem a little bit odd. Kevin Steele, guys, is one of the very first coaches when I got in this business about 1987 who befriended me and became an inside source about recruiting. So I've known him for decades. I don't know if he'd do a good job, but I think he's got a chance more than people think.
Bill King here with us on Halftime. Bill, so what if you're the athletic director at Auburn, what direction are you going to go? Is it a Kevin Steele? Is it a Hugh Freeze? Is it Mario Cristobal? If you're the AD, who are you getting as your next head coach of the Auburn Tigers?
Yeah, I don't get the Cristobal thing other than he's a really good recruiter, which he is. He's not proven a thing as a head coach. So I don't get that. I don't think there's anything. He's going to get more Nike money from Phil Knight just from this flirtation, I'm guessing. But I would target Hugh Freeze. Unless you're hiring Nick Saban or Urban Meyer, there's no sure thing. Those are sure things. There's two of them, probably, on the planet Earth right now. But in today's climate of what Auburn's capable of going and getting, Hugh Freeze is your best bet. Apparently they don't like it, which is their business, their prerogative. But to me, if it's all about let's get this going, let's be really attractive offensively, let's recruit, let's have fun, let's win, to me that's your best bet. But like we said, guys, I don't think anything's happening there. Plus, the word is he's waiting and wanting the Tennessee job, which I still don't think, at least as of now, comes open.
Let's move away from the coaching chat. Earlier in the show, we talked about the college football playoff rankings and how how vastly different they are when you look at the CFP poll versus the other polls with the AP and the coaches poll, and particularly three teams, Iowa State, Florida, and Cincinnati. They're ranked so differently amongst all these polls. And we'll keep it with the SEC. How did Florida, inexplicably losing to LSU the way that they did, only drop one spot in the college football playoff poll, but 4 or 5 in the other polls?
Yeah, it makes little sense. I don't think they have much of a shot, even if they were to pull off the miraculous upset of Alabama, which is, I think those two teams are way apart right now the way they're playing. But yeah, it makes a little sense. Guys, I don't watch that show. I don't. I never have. I watched, I think, part of one 2 weeks ago, whenever that was, and I'll check it out Sunday because that's the final one. But I don't watch it or pay attention to it. The other thing is they're not going to give a non-Power 5 team a slot until we expand. That's just not happening, guys. And your brand does matter. They say they don't think about that stuff. It's absolutely key. If you've got Alabama behind your name, you're going to get a better break than you are if you're Cincinnati. It's just common sense.
So next Wednesday when we have you on right before Christmas, and next Wednesday when we do have you, we'll know who the Final Four is for the college football playoffs. So next Wednesday when we talk to you, who's the Final Four going to be?
I'm guessing it stays real chalky, which bores the heck out of everybody, and it's Alabama, Notre Dame, Clemson, Ohio State. Now, if the Notre Dame game, and I think Clemson wins, if that's ugly, then we've got a conversation. Maybe the Aggies get in there. But I think it's going to be real chalky. I think Alabama wins easy. Northwestern does not have the personnel to hang with Ohio State. I don't even think it should be a game at halftime. The best game is Clemson, Notre Dame. And it needs to be 14 points in for Notre Dame, and it needs to be relatively evenly matched. If it's a rout, then I don't think they keep Notre Dame. Some are saying they get in no matter what. I don't think they're in no matter what yet.
Last thing I'll touch on here with you, Bill, and then we'll let you go. Haven't had a wide receiver win the Heisman Trophy since 1991. It's a quarterback award. Why not Devontae Smith this year? I'm having trouble separating Mac Jones and Kyle Trask. I see Devontae Smith as head and shoulders the best wide receiver in the country, and I don't have a Heisman vote, but I would consider voting for him if I had one.
I don't know now, guys. In 97, Charles Woodson, who won it because they played him on like 5 plays on offense and he scored, beat out Peyton Manning. So is that not a receiver? I mean, I know what you mean. I'll tell you why Devontae Smith's not going to win it, and I'm with you. I think he's remarkable because it's a quarterback award. Hey, give him some shotgun snaps maybe on Saturday. Let him pick up about 50, 60 yards on 2 carries. Maybe he wins. How about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had forgotten about the Charles Woodson thing, but you're right. You're right, and I know you hammer on that one whenever you're looking at ones that people got robbed. If you ever move to Tennessee and get a show, if you move in here and you get a show, first day you want to get an audience, just bring up 97 Peyton Manning. That's the same thing here in Arkansas with Darren McFadden and his 2 runner-up finishes. Just ask your buddy Ty Richardson.
That's right. That's right.
Bill, thanks, man. I'm not on the show Wednesday next week, so I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. Thanks for all you do for us on halftime.
You too, guys. Thank you.
All right, this is Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio. All right, we got one.